Winter isn't just a season, it's a ruthless force of nature. Every year, hundreds fall victim to its icy grip. Freezing temperatures, deadly hypothermia, and massive power outages aren't just inconveniences, they're silent, creeping killers. Imagine this for a moment. A blizzard rages outside, the power grid collapses, and you're left in total darkness. No heat, barely enough food. The temperature inside your home plummets, and every breath feels like inhaling shards of ice. That cozy sweater you're banking on? It won't stand a chance against the kind of cold that turns your home into an Arctic tomb. Think you're ready for winter? Because you've stockpiled some candles, blankets, and canned soup? Think again. Winter doesn't care about your half-hearted plans. It's merciless, cutting through your home and your illusions of security like a knife. When the frost starts climbing your windows and the warmth escapes faster than you can even feel it, that chilling realization hits you. You didn't prepare for this. This isn't a warning, it's reality. Winter will push you to the brink, test your resolve, and take from you whatever it can. If you're not ready, it won't just take your comfort or your health, it could take your life. That's why in this video, we're uncovering 7 essential items. Not optional, not nice to have, but survival tools you'll desperately wish you had as winter's icy claws close in. These aren't gimmicks or luxury gadgets. These are the lifelines between staying alive and succumbing to the relentless grip of the cold. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to face winter head-on, prepared like a seasoned survivalist. Trust us, you don't want to face the cold without these. And by the end, you'll understand just how crucial they are. Buckle up, because winter doesn't play fair. It's time to outsmart it. 1. A hand-crank weather radio with emergency alerts. Imagine this. Everything goes dark, the power is gone, and with it, your connection to the modern world vanishes. No phone, no internet, no TV. Nothing. The silence presses down, heavier than the gathering storm outside your window. But what's worse? That silence isn't just eerie, it's deadly. You won't know if the winter storm bearing down on your home is about to turn into an unrelenting blizzard. You won't hear if local authorities are setting up emergency shelters or sounding evacuation orders for your area. Without power or a way to communicate, you're stranded, blind, deaf, and utterly unprepared. That is, unless you have a hand-crank weather radio, a true survivor's secret weapon, not one of those cheap gadgets you see collecting dust in bargain bins. No, you need a rugged, NOAA-certified, life-saving device built to withstand the chaos of a blackout. Because when everything else fails, this tool is what will break through the isolation. Picture this moment. You're in your home. It's pitch black outside. The wind howls like a pack of wild wolves, and snowdrifts barricade your front door. Your phone is dead. You watched the battery tick down to 0 a few hours ago. The internet? Gone. Your TV? Just a powerless screen mocking you in the corner. How will you know what's happening beyond those walls? What if there's a gas leak or an evacuation warning? What if someone attacked your house and firewalled you, stormed you? Hey Al, just a powerless screen warning, I forgot about that. Good, you wouldn't have a clue. With a proper emergency radio, though, you'd have all the vital information. The best radios include AM, FM, and NOAA weather bands to keep you updated around the clock on storms, evacuations, or any disaster that's unfolding. Some even come with a solar panel for daylight recharging and a hand crank system for when the sun is nowhere to be found. No power? No problem. You can generate your own. But a good hand crank weather radio is more than just a source of information. It's a multifunctional lifeline. It comes with extra features you might not realize you'll need until it's too late. Think about this. Are you prepared for nights so dark that you can't see your own hand in front of your face? A built-in flashlight on your emergency radio becomes the difference between navigating your home and stumbling over chaos. And then there's the phone charging capability. Yes, some radios allow you to crank enough power to bring your phone back to life, letting you make one critical call or text when it matters most. Oh, and don't overlook the emergency alarm feature. These models can sound a piercing siren loud enough to cut through howling winds, alerting you or rescuers to danger nearby, or even waking you up in the dead of night when there's no time to waste. Still think it's optional? Without it, you're gambling with your life. Picture this. You're sitting helplessly while the temperature drops to lethal lows. And because you couldn't hear a broadcast, you miss the gas leak warning issued for your neighborhood. Or even worse, you're totally unaware that an evacuation order has been given and first responders are moving out while you're still sitting in the danger zone. This is a device that quite literally separates the prepared from the perished. It's not about convenience, it's about survival. The harsh truth is simple. When the power cuts out, staying informed is the only way to stay alive. Store your emergency radio where you can grab it immediately. Don't bury it under a pile of random supplies in your garage. Test it before you actually need it, and make sure every member of your household knows how to use it. And, because in a winter blackout, uncertainty is your worst enemy. When the storm comes, and trust me, it will, it's the ones with the hand-cranked weather radio who will hear the warnings, see the light, and emerge ready to face whatever comes next. For everyone else, the silence might just be the sound of their last chance slipping away. 2. Solar lighting kit. Picture this. It's a freezing winter night. The sun set hours ago, and you're sitting in complete enveloping darkness because the power's been out all day. At first, maybe it wasn't so bad. You lit a few candles, used your flashlight, and reminded yourself this won't last long. But then, it stretches on. Your flashlight dims, its batteries on their last legs. The candles are down to their stubs, flickering weakly, and you're left staring into the pitch black. You trip over a table leg, spilling whatever was in your hands, and suddenly the reality sets in. This isn't inconvenient, it's terrifying. Being plunged into complete darkness doesn't just make everything harder, it feels suffocating. Imagine your kids waking up scared because they can't see anything around them. Imagine trying to cook over an open flame in that claustrophobic dark, or navigating an icy staircase outside with nothing to guide you. It's not just frustrating anymore, it's dangerous. That's where a solar lighting kit becomes an absolute game changer, even a lifesaver. A solar lighting kit is more than just a backup for short blackouts. It's your ticket to maintaining some sanity during those long, unrelenting winter power outages. Unlike flashlights or candles, this kit doesn't rely on disposable batteries or a diminishing stash of supplies. These kits include highly efficient lights that are powered by the sun. Yes, even in winter, there's enough daylight out there to keep these lights powered up. By charging during the day, solar lighting kits give you hours of reliable illumination after night falls. And here's the best part. The really good kits come loaded with features that make survival easier. Some kits allow you to connect multiple lights, letting you brighten up several rooms or even outdoor areas using one central power source. Need a portable light for emergencies? Many kits have lanterns or handheld lights that can be moved wherever you need them most. These setups also often come with USB ports, allowing you to charge small gadgets like your phone, which could be your only way of contacting the outside world. But the functionality doesn't end there. Solar lighting is also insanely practical for outdoor use. Think about it. It's an extended blackout and your home is surrounded by darkness. Without proper lighting around your property, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. Whether you're fending off wild animals or discouraging potential looters, strategically placed solar floodlights can be the first line of defense between you and disaster. The visibility they provide could determine whether you feel secure enough to sleep at night or stay wide-eyed and anxious till morning. Now, here's the kicker. What happens if you don't have a solar lighting kit? I'll tell you. You're stuck fumbling through the gloom, wasting precious flashlight batteries and burning through your finite supply of candles faster than you realize. Every second you're in that kind of darkness, the risks climb higher. Even if you have a flashlight or two, maybe you misstep and end up with a sprained ankle, or worse. Maybe that flicker of a candle you set up knocks over, lighting something it shouldn't have. Or maybe the sheer mental toll of the oppressive dark takes hold, leaving you or your loved ones panicked and unable to think clearly. Don't underestimate the psychological chaos darkness can bring. It's not just about the tasks you can't complete or the dangers you might not see. It's the constant sense of fear and helplessness that creeps in when you can't see 2 feet in front of you. Trust me, you don't want to subject your family to that. Especially not kids or elderly relatives who are already vulnerable. A solar lighting kit isn't just a nice-to-have item. It is an absolute must-have when winter blackouts are on the horizon. It's your lifeline, your security system, and your peace of mind. When the darkness comes, and believe me, it will, you'll be grateful to have this sustainable, reliable, and life-saving solution by your side. Don't wait until you're stumbling blind through a house filled with invisible hazards. Prepare now, and be the one who keeps the darkness and the fear firmly at bay. Sustainable and bay. Free, a life-saving battery bank with solar capability. Picture this. The power's out, the snowstorm is raging, and the temperature inside your house is dropping fast. Darkness surrounds you. There's no light, no way to stay connected, and with every passing second, your devices are slowly dying. What are you going to do when your phone shuts off, leaving you completely cut off from help? How will you see when your flashlight fades? And when your medical instrument seems spent at run out, the more you decommission a device, and what happens to that life-saving CPAP machine or medical device when it's nothing more than a useless brick? No one wants to face that nightmare, but it happens more often than you think. Winter storms cause widespread blackouts, and power lines buckle under the weight of heavy ice. Transformers blow without warning, leaving entire neighborhoods in dark. If you're not ready, you could be one of the unlucky ones, struggling to survive without even the basic technological lifelines we all depend on. This brings us to item number 3 on this list. A high-capacity, rechargeable battery bank with solar charging capability. And no, I'm not talking about just any cheap, low-capacity power bank you grab off a discount shelf. You need something serious. You need a tank. A battery bank with at least 200 mAh of power, designed to charge multiple essential devices. Your phone, flashlight, a weather radio. Again and again, anything less is asking for trouble. Here's the kicker. You also want it equipped with solar charging capability. Why? Because when the grid goes down, the sun is your most reliable and infinite source of energy. A solar E-mid power bank keeps you in the game, even when the odds are stacked against you. For added insurance, pair your battery bank with a foldable solar panel. These panels are lightweight and portable, and they'll speed up your charging process dramatically. Instead of waiting for hours, you may be back to fully charged while daylight is still on your side. Now think about the kind of terrifying domino effect that happens when your power supply fails in the dead of winter. Without a phone, you can't call for help, leaving you completely isolated in an emergency. No phone also means no weather updates. That storm you thought was ending, it's actually getting worse, and you'll have no clue. And without flashlights, you're stumbling through the ice-cold darkness, unsure of what's ahead or around you. What about entertainment? When your devices run out of juice, no music, no podcasts, and no way to keep your mind off the creeping fear that feels like it's closing in. Still not convinced this is critical? Imagine a dead phone in an actual life-and-death emergency. You'd gladly trade everything in your house for just 5 more minutes of battery to call for help. Don't put yourself in that situation. A reliable battery bank gives you a crucial buffer. It's not just peace of mind, it's survival insurance. Fully charge it before the storm rolls in and keep it handy. When winter unleashes its fury and the snow buries every road, you'll be glad you listened. With enough power stored in your battery bank, you'll have the resources to buy yourself time, to make smart decisions, get help, or simply hold on until things get better. This isn't just about convenience, it's about staying alive. Don't wait until you're left staring at a dead screen and feeling the bitter cold settle into your bones. Get a high-capacity battery bank with solar capability now. The storm doesn't wait, and neither should you. Or cold weather gear for every scenario. Think you can survive a brutal winter blackout with just a hoodie and a big coat? Think again. When the heat cuts out and the power's gone, you're not just dealing with a little discomfort. You're up against an invisible enemy that can push your body to its breaking point. The truth is, hypothermia doesn't care if you're indoors. It doesn't care how tough you think you are. It sneaks up fast, making your fingers numb, clouding your mind, and draining your energy until you're unable to function. This is why cold weather gear isn't optional in a winter survival scenario. It's non-negotiable. Without it, you're rolling the dice on your life. Here's the scary part. You might think you've got enough layers to stay warm, but you're wrong. This isn't about throwing on another sweater or grabbing a blanket. It's about preparing for the kind of conditions mountaineers face at high altitudes or Arctic explorers endure in sub-freezing hellscapes. If you're not ready, the cold doesn't just creep in, it takes over. Start with the base. You might think cotton is comfy, but in this game, cotton kills. It traps sweat, soaking your skin and making you colder. What you need is a thermal base layer designed to wick away moisture. Merino wool or high-quality synthetic blends will do the trick. They'll keep you dry, which is the first step to staying warm. But that's just the foundation. Above that layer, you need serious insulation. We're talking fleece jackets or even better, downmill layers to trap your body heat. That's not enough, though. The cold is relentless, and it doesn't just chill. It cuts. Wind blasts through weak clothing like it's paper, and if you're not protected from drafts, you'll shiver yourself into exhaustion. Your outer layer has to be windproof and waterproof, not just kind of water-resistant, but properly sealed against the elements. Limit the contact to elements to 2nd to 3rd size. You also want to make sure the radiation is cut out of your body rather than even a slight draft from a poorly sealed window or the tiniest bit of snow melting into your jacket can rob you of precious heat. And then there are your extremities. Ever been so cold that your fingers refuse to work, even for something simple like turning a doorknob? It happens faster than you think. Your head, hands, and feet bleed heat more than you can imagine. And without the right gear, you're toast. Frozen in toast. You'll need high-quality wool socks, insulated gloves, and a thermal hat or balaclava that covers every inch of exposed skin. And here's a lifesaver you won't appreciate until you do: chemical hand and foot warmers. These heat packs might seem like a luxury, but in sub-zero temperatures they're survival gold. They can keep your fingers functional when the cold tries to take them out of commission. Footwear is another area people overlook until it's too late. Regular sneakers? Forget it. Step outside in those when the snow's falling, and it'll feel like you're walking into an ice bath. Insulated, waterproof boots are absolutely essential. They protect your feet and keep them warm enough to avoid frostbite. If you think you can tough it out without them, just imagine trying to move when your feet are numb blocks of ice. Football, and finally a thermal sleeping bag, and I'm not talking about the one you use for your summer camping trips. You need an extreme cold-rated sleeping bag built for sub-zero temperatures. This isn't just for sleeping, it's for survival when keeping an entire room heated isn't possible. Trust me, when the cold seeps into your bones and the walls feel like ice, having a small cocoon of warmth will be the only reason you can close your eyes and wake up again. Here's the bottom line. You might think you can tough it out when the heater dies and the snow is piling up, but without this gear, without these layers of protection, you're gambling with your life. When the blackout hits and the power's out for days, the cold doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't negotiate. It's a ruthless predator, and it will find you unprepared if you let it. Stock up. Prepare now, because when the world freezes around you, you don't want to find yourself underdressed for the fight of your life. 5. Multi-fuel cooking system. Picture this nightmare scenario. It's the dead of winter, the power's out, and the warmth of your home is slowly slipping away. The fridge is silent, the microwave useless, and your electric stove? Nothing more than a cold hunk of metal. The realization dawns on you. You can't cook, you can't boil water, you can't stay warm. Suddenly your kitchen feels like a cruel joke, mocking your modern conveniences. The fridge, what now? Cold canned beans and peanut butter sandwiches? Sure, that might get you through a day or two. But as the bitter chill seeps in, so does the dread. Without a way to cook or heat water, your family could face more than just hunger. You're staring down the barrel of sickness, misery, and desperation. This is where a multi-fuel cooking system becomes your lifeline. No, this isn't some fancy camping gadget. It's survival gear, pure and simple. If you're serious about protecting yourself and your family during a winter emergency, you need one. Start with the foundation, a dual-fuel camp stove. These compact powerhouses run on propane or butane, which are easy to store, widely available, and pack enough heat to get a pot of water boiling in just minutes. They are reliable and efficient, a must-have for anyone preparing for the unexpected. But here's the kicker: don't stop there. Relying on just one fuel source could be a fatal mistake. Supply chains can break down, stores can run dry, and if the storm lasts longer than expected, you might just burn through your precious fuel reserves faster than you thought. That's why you need a backup, a portable wood-burning stove. These babies are a game changer. Why? Because they can run on scavengeable fuel. Fallen branches, scrap wood, even broken furniture. Whatever you can find becomes a lifeline. You're no longer dependent on propane tanks or fancy fuel canisters, which could mean the difference between a warm meal and going hungry when things really hit the fan. Still not convinced? Add a small alcohol stove to your arsenal. These stoves are lightweight, easy to use, and can burn common fuels like rubbing alcohol, ethanol, or even hand sanitizer if you're in a pinch. They're clean-burning and incredibly portable, giving you yet another layer of redundancy when it comes to cooking during a crisis. With these options, you've got a versatile, resilient system that won't leave you stranded when everything else fails. Now, think about what happens if you're caught without this vital gear. Waterborne diseases from drinking unboiled water? That's a real threat. A sick child needing a warm, soothing bowl of soup? You won't be able to provide it. Your family huddled together, cold and miserable, crying for even a sip of hot tea. But you've got nothing to offer but excuses and cold rations. This isn't just about staying fed, it's about staying sane, keeping morale up, and providing the warmth and comfort your family needs to push through the crisis intact. Investing in a multi-fuel cooking system ensures you can prepare hot, nutritious meals no matter what. You'll be able to boil water for safe drinking, make hearty soups, cook rice, or even brew a soul-warming cup of coffee. These small victories in an otherwise chaotic situation make an enormous difference. And don't forget the accessories. Sturdy, heat-proof cookware and utensils are non-negotiable. Make sure you have a windscreen to shield your stove from bitter gusts if you're cooking outdoors or in a drafty space. Pack waterproof matches and a durable fire starter, because when the cold comes clawing at your door, You don't want to rely on luck to get your fuel burning. Think ahead, too. Stock up on fuel, enough for at least 2 weeks, and more if you live in an area prone to extended outages. Don't underestimate how much you'll need when there's no end in sight to the storm outside. And remember, this isn't just survival. It's your best chance at preserving some semblance of normalcy while the world around you freezes over. There's no room for hesitation here. Without a multi-fuel cooking system, you're walking a razor's edge, risking health, sanity, and survival itself. 6. Portable water filtration system. Do you truly trust the water in an emergency? You shouldn't. Imagine waking up in the aftermath of a brutal winter storm. Power's out, pipes have frozen solid, or worse, burst, flooding your home with contaminated sludge. You sprint to your cabinet hoping those few bottles of water you stashed are enough, but soon they're gone, and your survival clock starts ticking. Here's the cold, hard truth. Without clean drinking water, survival becomes a nightmare. You're not just fighting against the cold, you're battling your own body. Dehydration starts shutting you down in as little as 3 days, and in freezing temperatures, it works even faster. The cold drains your energy reserves and intensifies dehydration as your body struggles to stay warm. Don't make the critical mistake of assuming a few cases of bottled water will see you through winter's wrath. Supplies run out, contamination spreads. Boiling isn't always safe or practical if you're out of fuel or dealing with a blackout. And snow? Sure, melting seems like an option, but drinking untreated snowmelt is a fast track to sickness without proper sterilization. What's the solution? A portable water filtration system. This isn't just some camper's luxury or a gadget for the overly cautious. It's a lifeline, a weapon against the unseen killers lurking in untreated water. Without it, you're rolling the dice every time you take a sip. When you're stuck at home, gravity-fed water filters are your best bet. Why? Because they can purify several gallons at once. No electricity, no pumping, just clean water to keep you and your loved ones going. These systems work even when the taps run dry or deliver nothing but sludge filled with bacteria, parasites, and chemicals. You can drink with confidence, knowing you're protected. But what if you need to move? What happens when you're forced to leave the safety of your home to dig out supplies or find shelter? This is where compact filtration tools like straw smile or pump filters become a lifesaver. With a good straw filter, you can drink straight from a stream, river, or even melted snow without worrying about invisible killers like E. coli or Giardia smuggling their way into your stomach. A high-end pump filter can even eliminate heavy metals and industrial toxins. And don't forget backup options. Your survival can't solely rest on one system. Water purification tablets or UV sterilizers are lightweight, affordable, and efficient. A UV light pen neutralizes bacteria, viruses, and pathogens within seconds. Tablets can purify large quantities of water, ensuring you're stocked up even when your primary filter falters. Here's the thing no one talks about. Dirty water isn't just a physical threat. It's a psychological one. Imagine sitting in the freezing dark, too afraid to drink what you have because you know it might make you sick. The stress and doubt alone can shatter your focus and morale. Now consider the alternative. With the right water filtration system, you have control. Each sip of clean, purified water offers more than just hydration. It gives you hope, strength, and clarity in a chaotic world. Winter is unforgiving, especially when you're unprepared. Without clean water, the basics of survival crumble. Cooking? No chance. Hygiene? Forget it. Every drop you consume becomes a gamble. Underestimate the importance of clean water and you'll wish you could turn back time. Mark my words. Dehydration during freezing temperatures can lead to rapid frostbite and hypothermia, turning an already dire situation into a life-threatening ordeal. Don't wait to experience that icy lesson firsthand. Equip yourself now. A water filtration system isn't optional. It's your line between survival. 7. A first aid kit that could save your life in winter. When winter's icy grip takes hold, danger isn't a matter of if, it's when. Injuries in the cold can turn deadly. Fast, and unless you're ready, the freezing temperatures will make sure you never get a second chance. That's why item 7 on this list isn't just a nice-to-have, it's non-negotiable. A fully stocked, no-excuses first aid kit could be the thing standing between you and disaster this winter. Think about it for a second. You're chopping wood to keep your family warm. One wrong swing with the axe and suddenly you've got a gash pouring blood. Or maybe you're trudging along an icy trail when, crack! You twist your ankle and are stranded with no help nearby. Don't even get me started on frostbite. The cold doesn't forgive anyone. If you're not prepared, even something as minor as a paper cut could spiral into a life or meth situation. Here's the truth that no one likes to admit. Your basic first aid kit isn't going to cut it in winter. Forget that dime store box with a few Band-Aids and some antiseptic cream. That kit? Useless in the face of real emergencies. You need the ultimate, hardcore first aid kit. One that's ready to handle anything winter throws your way. Because if you don't, you'll be left trying to MacGyver your way out of trouble. And trust me, duct tape won't save you when the temperatures drop below freezing. Here's what your winter survival first aid kit must include to give you a fighting chance. Start with the essentials: bandages in every size, sterile gauze pads, and reliable medical tape. But don't stop there. Wound closure strips, butterfly closures, and a proper suture kit are next on the list. Yes, I said suture kit. If you're trained to use it, it can mean the difference between keeping an injury under control and watching it spiral into a full-on infection. Keep in mind, in winter's brutal cold, infections don't wait. They strike fast and hard, and heading to the nearest hospital might not even be an option. Speaking of infections, your kit absolutely needs antiseptic wipes, antibiotic ointments, and iodine. These aren't negotiable. Clean and disinfect every wound thoroughly, because germs don't take the day off when you're freezing. And in harsh conditions, your immune system is already under strain. But winter injuries aren't just about cuts, scrapes, or bruises. Frostbite and hypothermia are the real predators of the season. That's why you need the tools to fight back. A stock of chemical heat packs, space blankets, and thermal wraps are your frontline defense when the chill becomes deadly. And when frostbite strikes, aloe vera gel or burn cream could make the difference between healing and permanent tissue damage. And listen, pain management isn't optional when you're deep into survival mode. Load your kit with ibuprofen or acetaminophen for pain relief and reducing inflammation. Antihistamines are a must, too, because yes, allergic reactions don't take a break in winter either. Toss in medications for flu and cold symptoms, because the last thing you want is to battle illness on top of everything else winter throws at you. But here's where standard first aid kits really fail. Most don't prepare you for the big stuff. What happens if someone breaks a bone slipping on ice or suffers a deep laceration in a freak accident? A proper winter survival kit isn't complete without splints, an emergency tourniquet, and trauma pads. These tools could save a life when minutes feel like hours and outside help is unreachable. And for the nightmare scenario of severe bleeding, you need a blood clotting agent like Quick Clot or Celox. These products have saved lives in war zones, and they can do the same for you if things go south. Lastly, don't overlook the tools that make all of this work. Trauma shears, tweezers for pulling out splinters or debris, and a digital thermometer are absolute necessities. Spotting hypothermia early could be the key to surviving the cold. And remember, winter injuries don't just hurt the body, they can shatter your focus. Fear, panic, and agony can derail your fight for survival. A first aid kit isn't just a bag of supplies, it's a lifeline. Your ability to act fast with the tools at hand could be the difference between surviving or not. But here's another cold, hard truth. Your kit is useless if you don't know how to use it. Train yourself, train your family. Learn how to treat wounds, manage trauma, and stay calm when the unthinkable happens. And don't forget, first aid kits need maintenance too. Medications expire, sterile seals break, batteries die. If your kit isn't in peak condition, it's as useless as not having one at all. Check it regularly and keep it updated, because winter doesn't forgive sloppiness. When winter storms howl and the ambulance can't reach you, when the roads are buried under feet of snow and your nearest neighbor might as well be on Mars, your first aid kit becomes your last line of defense. Do not neglect it. Prepare it, learn it, maintain it. Because out there, in the frozen wilderness, survival doesn't come to those who cross their fingers. It comes to those who are ready. Without a doubt, this is one item you absolutely cannot afford to skip. Winter doesn't give second chances. Will you be ready when the cold comes knocking? Or will you be another tragedy lost to the season's unrelenting wrath?